These were some of the best poems by Rheaume, recorded on February the 21st, 1969.
This is Jack. That was the voice of Jerry Steffler, to whom we shall be forever grateful for having the foresight to record these poems while the opportunity was there. Thank you, Jerry, from all of us.
Of songs of verse is the best that I can do, to leave behind some memory when I have passed from view. The simple words that I will write are not a poet's lore, but just my humble musings and thoughts of days of yore. It is but a little offering for those who wish to read, and if you do not criticize, I will deem it kind indeed. When reading through from page to page, you may chance upon a line that you think worthy to repeat, some memory of mine. I'll think my work was not in vain if I can only touch some sad heart who is sorrowing and bring them joy again. Then when at last my work is done and no more I will try, I will leave this little book with you and bid you all goodbye. Now the first poem that I will read is Our Family Tree. As we wandered down the road of life, just you and I alone, I recall with fondest memories your every word and tone. Then as we journeyed onward in those happy days of yore, we wondered what the future for us would have in store. As the robins build a little nest, we too have done the same. We made a little dwelling, then our happy family came. Earl was the first little stranger to gladden our humble home. We thought him the dearest baby that ever a person could own. He was the king of the castle. We bowed at his every whim. Then we hired a little nursemaid to take the best care of him. Then along came a little sister with blue eyes and golden hair. The two of them played together. They made such a handsome pair. She was the pride of our family, a sweet and most dainty miss. His big brother would follow her always and watch over his little sis. Then along came our little Larry on a hot day in July, while Father was out celebrating in a little town nearby. He was a darling baby, a little bit undersized. When Henry came back from Bad Axe, wasn't he much surprised? Then Elmer, the great custodian, came in the month of June. He was a pretty baby. His face was round like the moon. We called him the great custodian. With everyone he made ahead. Whatever we sent him after, he always came back with it. All was cheerful and full of vigor, quick as a flash when we call. A favorite of all the playmates, he was the pride of us all. One day when the March winds were blowing and the skies were of every hue, along came our little Leo, a dear little baby too. We guided his tiny footsteps just as we did the rest. As the years passed by in succession, I wonder if we did our best. He had the same loving home ties. We gave him the same tender care. Why should his path be diverted, so hard for us all to bear? Then came Jackie, our little towhead, with eyes that were big and blue, and such a sober countenance with never a smile for you. But I know as the years go onward, and we could the future scan, I can see him arise in power, and maybe a mighty man. In the sultry month of August, when the moon was large and bright, along came our Henry Jr. in the middle of the night. He is his father's helper, always quick and full of vim, and to prove our true affection, we named Henry after him. One day a baby girl appeared. What a little pal was she, with blonde hair and a dimpled smile. We called her Mary Lee. She won our true affection with her sweet and winning ways, for she deserves our compliments and the very best of praise. With the greatest snow we had in years, the whole sky came tumbling down, and after it was cleared away, then Dickie came to town. He was as round as a roll of butter, his eyes did like diamonds shine, a dear little roly-poly. He was the number 9. In June, when the birds were singing and the flowers were all in bloom, along came another girlie, and we called her Laura June. She was a little darling. She was the number 10, the last of the little Rheaumes, and I faintly whispered, Amen. Memories. I wander down through memory's lane as the sun is sinking low. Fond recollections come to me of the days of long ago, when love was young and beautiful, when with romance in the air, the days were bright and sunny, and life had not a care. I remember well the day we met. It was very long ago. Our paths have led together through years of love I know. Beside the rippling waters, through sunny fields of flowers, we spent our lives together with many happy hours. We built a little love nest. It was not large or grand, but to us it was a castle for our little fairyland. Time went on, and one by one our little children came. We gave them true affection. They all were loved the same. First came our Earl and Evelyn, then Lawrence and Elmer too, then Leo, Jack, and Henry, already quite a few. The house was filled with laughter with Dick and Mary Lee, then Laura, Poppy's baby, the last rose on the tree. Now down the path of life we walk, just you and I alone. Just like we started long ago. My, how the years have flown. Our hair has turned to silver now. Our steps are sometimes lame. Our eyes are not so very bright, but our hearts are just the same. The birds have left our little nest. Yes, one by one have flown. The old house is deserted now, and we are all alone. There is nothing left but memories, the voices of the past, the echoes of the bygone days, our dreams that always last. We will leave the door latch open, and a light will always burn. There will always be a welcome for our dear ones who return. My stars. My stars that hang in the window, they mean all the world to me. Each one means a son in the service who is fighting for victory. Each star means a vacant pillow and a chair at the table too. Each one means another heartache. Thank God that they all are blue. 5 stars that are hanging in silence while the clock on the mantel ticks. Each hour, each day passes onward. I'm afraid there will soon be 6. Our Earl in the Field Artillery was the first of our sons to go. Then Elmer, who followed soon after, has made a good soldier, I know. Since Jackie has gone in the Air Corps and Henry has joined the Marines, with Leo a parachute jumper, we know just what Sherman means. 5 times we have suffered their leaving, 5 times bid goodbye at the train. And just as those wounds are near healing, time opens them all up again. If Larry is called to the colors, the 6th of our family to go, the house will be very lonely, and we will be missing him so. We hope that this war is soon ended, and stories of victories are true. For if peace does not come in a hurry, they will call our Dickie boy too. Like lambs, they are scattered all over. Please bring them all back to the fold. 5 blue stars together are hanging. Please, God, don't change them to gold. When the soldiers are marching homeward, with no enemies left to attack, we will kneel with our hearts in prayer and thank God they have all come back. Nobody cares. As the twilight shades are falling and the shadows darker grow, I'm thinking of 1,000 things and the friends I used to know. I count them by the dozens, with the best ones at the top. But when I'm sick upon my bed, there's not a one shows up. Sometime there comes a chance to test the friends who seem to care. I find the ones who love me best are very few and rare. Down in my little memory book, I'll write a line or two. I always will remember the friends who prove most true. Let each one go their own sweet way. I, too, have my affairs. For everybody knows I'm ill, but there's nobody who cares. At Capac, my native home, fond memories bring me back again to the days of long ago, where I spent my happy childhood with the friends I used to know. I often thought of bygone days and had a longing to go back to see my friends and neighbors in my dear old home, Capac. As I drove back to my hometown and I walked slowly down the street, but not a person did I know and not a friend to greet. I passed the house where once I lived, my parents now both dead. The house outside looked just the same, but strangers inside live instead. The years made many changes. Most all my friends are gone. I was sad and very lonely. I was a stranger in my town. When I drove down to the graveyard just before the setting sun, I read the names on many tombstones, and I knew most every one. My teachers, too, God bless them, Mr. Blackley, Mr. Bass. I saw the Seagulls and the Lesters as I wandered down the path, the Grangers and the Glassfords, the schoolmates by the score, the Wagners and the Hunters, and oh, so many more. My dear parents and my sister were lying side by side, and many friends and classmates were scattered far and wide. Oh, Father Time had called them. He picked them one by one to bloom in heaven's garden, and we say, Thy will be done. Then I said farewell to dear ones. It was near the close of day, and I bowed in silent prayer, then sadly drove away. Goodbye to childhood, schoolmates. Don't know when I'll be back, but I will always cherish memories of my dear old home, Capac. My jewels. When I take my inventory, all my assets to declare, I think I am the lucky one, for I am a millionaire, because I own 10 jewels, most dear to me on earth, for they are all my children. They are of precious worth. As I gaze in admiration at my gems so sweet and rare, I find there is one missing, for Evelyn is not there. I will gather all my jewels and make a huge bouquet with flowers of my happy life to bless this Mother's Day. Jewels in my crown. Mother's Day will soon be coming, and the day all mothers love. It brings back many memories of blessings from above. I feel as though I have a crown with 10 jewels bright and rare. They have brightened every day of life, for God has placed them there. There are 10 jewels in my crown. We called the first one Earl. He was the king of the castle, compared with precious pearl. Then Evelyn, another jewel, like an emerald bright and clear. She brought to us the sunshine, and to us was very dear. Our Lawrence is like the garnet, trustworthy and so true. He kept our office records as no one else could do. Our Elmer is the opal, with colors bright and clear. He gives us health and happiness, which we all love so dear. Our Leo is the ruby, another precious stone. He gives to us our music, and we love each mellow tone. Jackie is like the amethyst, with its mystic hue so bright, brings joy to all around him, turns darkness into light. Henry is our sapphire boy, with its colors bright and blue. He greets us with his friendly smile when we come to Valley View. Mary is a diamond rare that shines so bright and clear. She brightens all our hours and makes our lives more dear. Dickie is a glowing topaz that shines just like the sun. He likes to build the fireplace and is loved by everyone. Laura is like a turquoise with colors all true blue, the last jewel in my crown of gold. Now I bid you all adieu. My pet. Someone is living at our house. He hangs around here all day. He interferes with my pleasure. Oh, I wish he'd go away. He's the most unpleasant person that ever you wish to see. I wish he'd leave here forever. Makes life so unpleasant for me. He has no regard for my feelings and gives me troubles untold. He seems to laugh at my misery and is glad that I'm growing old. He always my constant companion, and goes wherever I go. Sometimes I try to escape him. There's no use in trying, I know. I bet you're thinking and wondering who that miserable creature can be. Why do I stand for his presence if he is so annoying to me? In fact, you have never seen him. I hope you never will meet. He's a most unpleasant fellow from his head down to his feet. I hope you'll never meet him, but in case you ever do, he'll cause you the utmost misery and follow your whole life through. At last I'll tell you the secret. For years it troubled my heart, but now I'll keep it no longer. I'll tell you, his name is Art. So try to avoid his attentions. He will make you crippled and lame. He sure is a painful companion. Arthritis is the bad fellow's name. Dear Henry, when I sit alone in the evening and I think of the days gone by, my heart is so sad and lonely, and I utter a plaintive sigh. As I sit by the Valley View window and gaze down the road to the gate, the road that we traveled so often to visit our country estate. As I think of the friends that we cherished and the pleasant hours at home, but those days are only a memory, and now I am all alone. With the happy festivities ended and the crowds have scattered and gone, many things are now very different, but with our children I still carry on. The days are now growing shorter. Father Time says the hour is late, and soon the sun will be setting, then we will meet at the heavenly gate. My message. Here is just a little message I leave when I depart, to let you know I love you all. It comes right from the heart. Do not grieve or be unhappy when you hear that I have gone, but think of all the pleasures. Let their memories linger long. Do not throw away my relics, for to me they all are dear, but treasure them as keepsakes, as I did from year to year. Let us all be very thankful, and our blessings freely give. Just think of all the many years that God has let me live. Our boys. We once owned a dear little family. We counted them up to 10. We all lived so well and happy until the war came, and then these boys whom we loved and cared for, I cuddled each one to my breast, and now since the Army has called them, they have flown like birds from the nest. 5 of them left to be soldiers, one leaving us day after day. Each time was another heartache, as one by one marched away. Their ways have all been diverted, all sent to a different state. Each day I stand by the mailbox to listen and watch and wait, just for a little message that comes from a far-off sun. Seems like a glimpse of heaven before my day's work is begun. The days pass in sorrow and sadness, the nights in worry and dread. The sunshine has left every window, replaced by a blue star instead. Each morn as the day is breaking, I wonder what sorrows, what joys. Each night as the sun is sinking, I think of my soldier boys. My heart is so sad and lonely, a package was sent me today. The clothes of my little Jackie, the same that he wore away. I have packed all their clothes in the attic to wait for the coming years. I have sprinkled them all with mothballs and watered them well with my tears. Their trunks and their dressers are bulging with things that they treasured with pride, and all of their worldly possessions are laying there side by side. Their books are just as they left them, their games and their guns and such, and no one must ever molest them, made sacred just by their touch. May God in his mercy watch over them, wherever they may have to roam, and whenever this war is ended, please God, send the 5 of them home. My will. To all my children whom I love, a few short words I'll say, to tell you that I love you all before I go away. I have no gold or riches, no earthly wealth have I, and very little treasures to leave you when I die. But I leave my love to all of you. Each one I love the same. I leave my precious memories. I give you all my name. I leave a bunch of precious jewels, more dear to me than gold. You are all a constant pleasure while I am growing old. The hours I spent with each of you before you come to earth, the pleasure you have given me since the days I gave you birth. I leave these happy memories with each and every one. The pleasant days at Valley View, I hope you carry on. Dear Earl, my firstborn son, I give my love that comes from youth. You live forever in my heart. These words are gospel truth. Dear Evelyn, there is no gift that I can call to mind more precious than the memories that you have left behind. The first link in our family chain was broken one by one, which leaves a vacant corner since you and Pop are gone. Dear Lawrence, you are the next in line. What can I leave for you? My best regards in every way, with love so fond and true. Now, Elmer dear, my helper, my good son number 3, I give you thanks for all you did in your lifetime helping me. Dear Leo, what you really need, I would most gladly give. Your constant happiness and luck throughout the years you live. Dear Jackie, I would like to give such wealth as great success, and as you journey on through life, good health and happiness. Dear Henry, what you need the most, I would gladly give to you. Goodwill, encouragement, and luck. Long life at Valley View. Dear Mary, I would give to you good honor year by year. For many things you did for me has made my life more dear. Dear Dickie, what would you like that if I could give to you? I wish you health and happiness to last your whole life through. Dear Laura, from the tree of life, the last blossom on the tree, may you always bloom in splendor is the fondest wish from me. If I only were a millionaire, how gladly I would give to each and every one of you as long as you all live. And now to all my children dear, my gems of precious worth, I will leave you all in God's good hands when I leave this busy earth. To whom it may concern, if you would heap my days of flowers and speak kind words of me, just do these deeds of kindness while I am here to see. Time flies and soon it is too late to speak or smile or bow. Believe me when I say to you, I would rather have it now. Don't stick a glad hand in my face, and to my back throw scorn. For such a person is no friend, however loud his horn. Today is when you need it, kind words and sweet caress, with happiness like tears, and bring us happiness. So when at last my life is done, don't weep and mourn and rave. Just gather up my brittle bones and lay them in the grave. But do not wait until the end, till time and tide have fled. Just show a bit of kindness now before they say I'm dead. Now, to all my children who know that, our home. Our home is like a haven. It is sheltered well with trees. It sits upon a hilltop. We enjoy the summer breeze. It is not a grand old mansion that is filled with wealth and pride, but it holds our family relics and the love that is inside. There are monkeys in the bird cage beside my little bird. He sits in silence on his perch and utters not a word. There are statues on the pedestals, many pictures on the wall, the windows full of flowers. I cannot count them all. Our little midget doggies who protect me in the dark. They keep me very happy, though they only eat and bark. Our little home is very cozy. Far from it I cannot roam, for it holds so many memories. Best of all, I call it home. Happy birthday, Jerry. You have passed another milestone. I am glad that you are here. for such a worthy son-in-law to me is very dear. May your life be long and happy, with Mary by your side, and all your little children look upon you with much pride. Good luck to you, dear Jerry, and lots of love as well. I appreciate your value much more than words can tell. I wish you happy birthday for many years to come. I am glad to have a son-in-law who acts just like a son. Happy birthday, Mary. It was 40 years ago today when first you came to earth, in the old homestead on Dexter, the place that gave you birth. We were so proud and happy, you were a jewel rare. All other children far and wide with you could not compare. You brought the sunshine to our family with your many winning ways, so you deserve our compliments and the very best of praise. May your life be long and happy with Jerry by your side. Your sisters and your brothers look upon you with much pride. So now we all salute you, for we know of your true worth. I am glad to have a daughter, one of the best on earth. The end of the road. When you wander along life's highway, if you have carried a heavy load, you pause and rest at the gateway when you come to the end of the road. We have lost many friends and companions who have ended their pleasures on earth. Then we sit alone by the fireside as the embers all die on the hearth. Then we view the broad horizon that spreads out before us so grand, and we wonder in utter amazement as we at the vista of that other land. We have walked down the path of the garden, then we close the gate with a sigh, bid farewell to our friends and loved ones, when we bid all the world goodbye. Now, farewell. Please do not buy me orchids when they pronounce me dead, but place within my fingers a nice red rose instead. A red rose means I love you. That is what I wish to say to all my friends and children when at last I go away. So do not grieve or worry or indulge in many tears. I have had my share of pleasures. I have lived for many years. The day is slowly ending. The shades of night appear. The toil of day is over. The vesper bells we hear. Each day must have a sunrise. Each day a sunset too. And when the day is ended, our work at last is through. With the harvest comes the reaper, whether summer, spring, or fall, when we bid adieu to loved ones and say, I love you all. Now, the Valley View Toboggan Ride with the Hallie Jean. We thought we'd ride toboggan on the hills of Valley View to start the new year rolling, and mercy how we flew. At last we reached the bottom with a shriek and many groans. We landed in a wire fence with a bunch of broken bones. And now I will advise you the safest thing to do. Keep away from that toboggan when you go to Valley View. Goodbye, old home, goodbye. We wander back amid the pines, back to our old homestead. 'Tis covered o'er with creeping vines, from ground to chimney spread. We see an aged mother dear, who stands within the door to clasp her children in her arms, as oft she's done before. Again we wander back alone, no one is there to greet. The weeds around the path have grown, mid flowers our gaze to greet. The songbirds give their sweet refrain, as in the days of yore. The rose trees bloom in splendor, as they have bloomed before. But no hand is there to care for them, to shelter them from weeds, and no one comes to pick the flowers or gather up the seeds. In the third grade, when I was going to school years and years ago, in our literary class, the teacher was showing us the difference between prose and poetry, and she asked us which is the easier to write, prose or poetry, and everybody said prose, all but me, and I said poetry, just to be contrary. Her name was Edith Granger, so she said Well then, for tomorrow's lesson, you all write a composition in prose about snowflakes. And you, Ollie, you write a poem. And this is the one I wrote. Little white snowflakes come whirling down on the flat roofs of our small town. You have been busy all the night weaving this earth a carpet of white. That was my first poem that I ever wrote. And the teacher was excited. And she said, did you, Ollie, did you write that yourself? And I said, yes. Did anybody help you? I said, no. And she said, Ollie, you can write, you can write. And that was the starting of my writing a poetry. And everybody wanted me to write a poem about them. Henry L. Rheaume. 24 years ago today, a little babe was born. He came to share the joys of earth one bright October morn. His little eyes were bright and blue, like azure of the sky. So small and sweet and tiny too was the babe who did not cry. So from the list of all the names, Henry at last. So from the list of all the names, Henry at last did choose. From babyhood to babyhood, the infant soon arose. Then boyhood days passed quickly by, to them he bid adieu. From baby eyes to manhood eyes, they still retained their hue. Then to the city far away, he went to strive and win, to seek for fame and fortune, and a new life to begin. From country town to city great, he journeyed far and near, far from home and native state, and the ones he loved most dear. He sought for love, and found it too, from maidens fair galore. Their hearts down at his feet they'd lay, he could not wish for more, but still his heart remained untouched, no matter how they cried. Some girls in wonder gazed at him, while some with sorrow cried. But with a pure, devoted love, a love not oft possessed, at last he loved, who laughs the last, they say last always best. Too fair a flower to bloom unloved, he shared the hearts of all, and everyone adored him, all friends, both great and small. Who could not love so fair a flower, and who could not seek to own, who could not share with him each hour, too fair to bloom alone? 2 years and 4 have passed. What will the future be? Who will win his heart from all at last? Who loves him most? 'Tis me. To my soldier boys, I think of you boys night and day, with sorrow in my heart, for one by one you marched away. How hard it was to part. But Uncle Sam has called your name. You did not hesitate, and some of you enlisted before it was too late. For each brave heart we have a star placed in our window pane. We pray each day for your return to bring us joy again. We miss you from your place at home. 5 beds are vacant now. 5 chairs are standing empty until you fill your vow. Please, Uncle Sam, take care of them wherever they may be. And when at last their work is done, please send them back to me. This is in 1942. Tribute to Laura June Rheaume. If you gather all the fleecy clouds from out the bright blue skies and pick out all the twinkling stars to make a pair of eyes, then gather all the dewdrops that sparkle in the sun from all the buds and blossoms and roll them up in one. Then catch a breath of fragrance from out the balmy air and capture streaks of sunshine to make a wisp of hair. Then take the sound of songbirds to make a pleasant voice, and pearly pebbles from the beach for teeth so truly choice. Mix all these things together when nature is in tune. Behold, in all her splendor, our little Laura June. Lieutenant Mike Rheaume. We welcome you, dear Michael. We are happy as can be because you have returned to us from far across the sea. We miss you from your family group. We felt so sad at heart when Uncle Sam selected you to do your manly part. Your father and your mother are very proud of you, your sisters and your brothers, and all your kinfolks too. So welcome home, dear Michael. We greet you with esteem. I am glad to have a grandson to bless the name of Rheaume. Fort Riley. My son wrote me a letter. It just arrived today. He wrote about Camp Riley in the most emphatic way. He wrote of the grand surroundings with a continuous round of joys. He is leading the life of Riley with a wonderful group of boys. He says he's very happy in the Cooks and Bakers School with the best boys in the country who stick to the golden rule. Best wishes to old Camp Riley with its flag of freedom unfurled. To the officers and the students, the best cavalry school in the world. Remember that, Elmer? That is when you were in the Cooks and Bakers School in Fort Riley. When the robins sing again. I am longing for the springtime, for the birds and brilliant flowers, for the balmy air of summer and the gently falling showers. When the morning sun is dawning over meadow, hill, and plain, when the violets bloom in springtime, when the robins sing again. 'Tis a season we all welcome, for it opens nature's heart, and it gives to us its beauty when the winter days depart. We will listen to the cricket as he chirps his shrill refrain. We will breathe the air of springtime when the robins sing again. Way back in November 1910, the year that Pop and I were married, we went to Palmer Park. A few days later, it was on November the 13th, we took a streetcar and went down to Palmer Park. And we sat on a bench there beside the pool, and I had my paper and pencil with me, and Pop wanted me to write a poem about Palmer Park. And while he walked around in the garden, I wrote this poem and had it all ready when he came back. Here it is, Palmer Park. With half a day for leisure, we sought a shady nook to rest our tired feelings beside a sparkling brook. The silence is unbroken till a chirp of some wild bird or the sound of children's voices in the distance can be heard. The golden sunbeams linger in every shady bower. They tinge the bright green foliage upon each tree and flower. The haughty world of nature is in her best attire. 'Tis a season we all love best, for her beauties never tire. But soon her garb of green will change to autumn's ruddy hue. The leaves will soon be falling, then to summer bid adieu. The squirrels are darting here and there, gathering up their winter store, providing for the future days when summer is no more. The birds will soon be singing their farewell summer song, then fly away to warmer climes to stay all winter long. We have wandered through the shady lane, we have paused beside the stream, then we sought a quiet haven to sit and rest and dream. Now the time for our departure is very near at hand, and we regret to leave it, for its charms to us are grand. It is the time that we are going before the night grows dark, so with a rested feeling we bid adieu to Palmer Park. Farewell to Angel School. In the northwest section of Detroit, about 30 years ago, the Angel School was being built, and how we loved it so. The 10 little Rheaume children enrolled there one by one. As years passed by in succession, now the last of the Rheaumes is gone. Every year that this school has been active, one or more of the Rheaumes enrolled. While some were ready to leave it, others were entering the fold. We all love the school and the teachers. We appreciate all they have done. Their kindness, their patience, and virtues are remembered long after we're gone. The memories of school days at Angel are presently felt in each heart. When time comes to leave it forever, in sorrow we all must depart. So farewell to dear old Angel. Our final work is composed. The last chapter was studied in silence. Now the book is forever closed. And this was recited by Laura for her graduation in 1930. I mean 45. 1945. Greetings to our cousins, Father Fred and Father Pete and Father Lucian Ebert. Dear Father Pete and Father Fred and Father Lucian too, we never will forget the day you came to Valley View. Your cousin Pete and Shirley enjoyed your songs and jokes. We hope you are a pleasant day, though we are just plain folks. We think we are the lucky ones to have cousins such as you. It makes us very happy, for men like you are few. You told us of your early surroundings in the days when all were small. You spoke of a happy home life, fond memories you recall. Uncle Johnny sat at the table, said, "How is your appetite, Pete?" And when he was carving the T-bone, gave Freddie the choice piece of meat. After a hard day of labor, what should you boys do now? Dad and Fred could go fishing, but Peter must milk the cow. Pete told us about his childhood. In daydreams he often reviews fond memories of life in the country with his first patent leather black shoes. Father Pete, the great philosopher, has earned for himself much fame, a professor of great understanding at the wonderful Notre Dame. Pete is a lover of nature, with his botany, birds, and the bees. What can be nearer to heaven than such wonderful things as these? He may not grow old and wealthy. The wonderful fact still remains. There are things that mean more than money. Cousin Mary says he has the brains. Father Fred at St. Cecilia has a parish all of his own. He is the king of the castle and reigns mightily on the throne. He was a good Samaritan who helped Lucian to be a priest, and after his first mass was ended, called relatives and friends to the feast. Father Lucian is at St. Aloysius. What a wonderful priest is he. The beautiful sermon he preaches that teach of eternity. But the army has called him to duty, and he will be making a trip abroad to some far-off country as the chaplain of some battleship. God bless him and bring him home safely is the wish of his parish and friends, for he is so badly needed at home when this dreadful war ends. No time to us was spent more dear than the hours we shared with you. We hope you soon will all return to Rheaume at Valley View. A farewell to a friend. When the sun beams o'er the waters gleam, and the day dawns bright and clear, 'tis a vision clear of Henry Rheaume that reminds me of a friend most dear. Yes, Henry, of you I often think, compared to the chain of flowers, which is bound with love in every link, secluded 'neath shady bowers. Upon the shore and through the woods, ever happy by your side. At sudden intervals I turn and look upon you with much pride. But soon, too soon, this joy will cease, for the summer days are passing by. Soon the leaves will fall with the autumn breeze. They murmur many a plaintive sigh. When far away in some distant land, where a fairer face you'll see, no more we'll wander hand in hand. Will you sometimes think of me? I smother a cry of agony, for I know the time is near when I'll bid farewell to the one I love with many an unshed tear. If tears are not shed when we two part, don't think that my thoughts are glad, for tears will fall from my weeping heart and remain forever sad. To the solemn sound of the roaring lake and the billows that leap on the shore, expostulations most divine I make for you to stay forevermore. Far in the secret chamber of my heart, our thoughts no one can ever quell. A sacred frenzy for we two must part, a longing that no tongue can ever tell. A secret torture there shall rend my soul, if from my side you shall stay away. But not if I shall reach the goal, we'll meet again some happy day. Oh, such a sacrifice to see you go. No one deserves a love more true. My conscience smites me, for I know that my whole heart is flown to you. Gigantic shadows pass before my eyes. In dreams I hear a voice divine. Your eyes I see, like distant skies. Oh, what will fate design? Then with a chill, like death at heart, I wake to find my dream is o'er. With but the bare fact we must part. Yes, part perhaps forevermore. The same sun will shine for you. The starlit heavens we both shall see. as we up a gaze to the skies of blue, but still you'll be so far from me. I do not know how long 'twill be. Farewell to you, my own dear friend. Even though it be eternity, you will find me faithful to the end. No other one can take your place. No word more true I tell. Oh, how I'll miss your smiling face. Farewell, dear friend, farewell. Isn't that our gratitude? This is written for the dedication of our shrine. Dear friends, we greet you one and all. You have gathered here today to help us in our gratitude, our debt of life to pay. When war clouds darkened all the world and our sons were in distress, we vowed to build a monument for their safe return to bless. The years have passed, they all returned, each safe and sound and well. We thank the Lord with all our hearts, more than simple words can tell. What could we give unto our God, who answered all our prayers, for all these lives so dear to us, who lightened all our cares? Give thanks to him who watched o'er them, who helped them to survive. He guided them through danger and brought them home alive. We dedicate this sacred heart, which will stand for many years, to testify our faith in God, who gently soothed our fears. Our grateful hearts appreciate the many acts of love, and every day that we shall live, we will thank our God above.
These were some of the best poems by Rheaume, recorded on February the 21st, 1969.
That was the voice of Jerry Steffler, to whom we shall be forever grateful for having the foresight to record these poems while the opportunity was there. Thank you, Jerry, from all of us. This is Jack. We have two more of Mom's poems read by her. They were written to Pop in 1908 and 1909, 2 years and 1 year before they were married. The poems were taped on Thanksgiving Day, 1972, about 4 years before Mom passed away.
Henry L. Rheaume. 24 years ago today, a little babe was born. He came to share the joys of earth one bright October morn. His little eyes were bright and blue like the clouds up in the sky. So small, so sweet, and tiny too was the babe who did not cry. So from the list of all the names, Henry at last they chose. From babyhood to boyhood days, the infant soon arose. But boyhood days passed quickly by. To them he bid adieu. From baby eyes to manhood eyes, they still retained their hue. Then to the city far away he went to strive and win, to seek for fame or fortune, and a new life to begin. From country town to city great he journeyed far and near, afar from home and native state, and from the ones most dear. He sought for love, and found it too, from maidens fair galore. Their hearts down at his feet they lay. What could he ask for more? But still his heart remained untouched, no matter how they tried. Some girls in wonder gazed at him, while some with sorrow cried. But with a pure, devoted love, a love not oft possessed, at last he loved. Who laughs the last, they say laughs always best. Too fair a flower to bloom unloved, he shared the hearts of all. For every one adored him most, all friends, both great and small. Who could not love so fair a flower? Who would not seek to own? Who could not share with him each hour, too fair to bloom alone? 2 years and 4 have passed. What can the future be? Who will win his heart from all at last? Who loves him most? 'Tis me. Written by Olive M. Chapman, October the 16th, 1909. Henry L. Rheaume. When the sun's first rays o'er the waters gleam, and the day dawns bright and clear, 'tis a vision fair of Henry Rheaume that reminds me of a friend most dear. Yes, Henry, of you I often think, compared to a chain of fragrant flowers, which is bound with love in every link, secluded 'neath shady bowers. Upon the shore and through the woods, ever happy by your side, at sudden intervals I turn and look upon you with much pride. But soon, too soon, the joy will cease, for the summer days are passing by. Soon the leaves will fall with the autumn breeze, they murmur many a plaintive sigh. Then far away to some distant land, where a fairer sight you'll see, no more we'll wander hand in hand. Will you sometimes think of me? I smother a cry of agony when I think the time is near, when I bid farewell to the one I love with many an unshed tear. For if tears are not shed when we do part, don't think that my thoughts are glad, for the tears will gush from my weeping heart and remain forever sad. To the solemn sound of the roaring lake and the billows that leap on the distant shore, expostulations most divine I make, for you to stay for evermore. Far in a secret chamber of my heart are thoughts a human hand can never quell, a sacred frenzy, for we two must part, a longing that no tongue can ever tell. A secret torture there shall rend my soul, if from my side you'll ever stay away, but not if I shall reach the goal. We'll meet again some happy day. Oh, such a sacrifice to see you go! No one deserves a love more true. My conscience smites me, for I know that my whole heart has flown to you. Gigantic shadows pass before my eyes. In dreams I hear a voice divine. Your eyes I see like distant skies. Oh, what will fate design? Then, with a chill of death at heart, I wake to find my dream is o'er, with but the bare fact we must part, yes, part perhaps forevermore. The same sun will shine for you, the starlit heavens we both shall see, as we upper gaze to the skies of blue, but still you are so far from me. No other one can take your place, no word more true I tell. Oh, how I miss your smiling face. Farewell, dear friend, farewell. Ever your true and confiding friend, Olive M. Chapman. Is the date? Yeah, written by Olive M. Rheaume in September 1908.